Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we discussed the shot that was taken by Paul Reed to Doc Rivers. We also are going to talk about a trade possibility. Could Denver be shopping Will Barton, and is it even worth it?
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking Sixers in the Bird Gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got a lot to talk about. But before we do that, Sixer Nation, help your boy out and hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you know when these videos drop or when we go live. I'll be live for the NBA Finals tomorrow if you're just interested in continue watching basketball, although the Sixers are eliminated. But this tweet right here was spicy. I saw it. Shout out to Romp. He's the one who talked about it first on Twitter, and I totally agree. So Phil Beckner says, development is not just about the player. It's about the coach, too. Very hard to follow a leader who's not going anywhere. You can't give away what you don't possess. So, Paul Reed, Charles Bassey, Isaiah Joe, some of the young players on this roster don't even get a chance and are not developing. Now, again, you could look at it and say, well, they're not good players. Are they? We've seen signs from Paul Reed throughout his short career. He goes into the G League, and he's the MVP, and we saw him low-key slow down Giannis. We've seen him in transition, grab boards, show athleticism, and give this team a spark off the bench since we moved Andre Drummond. And when Paul Reed read this tweet by Phil Beckner, it probably hit his soul. It probably spoke to him, because hitting that retweet button, and right there, look at the top, Paul Reed retweeted. Nowadays, with social media being so hands-on, so many people do it, this is now being retweeted a lot more than what it was 3 days ago. And guess what? Doc Rivers probably sees it. Now, could that hurt Paul Reed's minutes in the long run? Possibly. But when you believe something or need to speak on something, you just got to do it. And when are we going to have the front office guys, Daryl Morey, Josh Harris, who the owner is, what's his name, Elton Brand, when are they going to step in and say, look, we need a new coach. This team still has talent. We could talk about a washed James Harden in the scoring department. What he does offensively, assist-wise, is still pretty darn good. We want to talk about Ben Simmons being important to this team because his ability to assist the ball. He's had 15 assists maybe one or two times. James Harden, in the half a season he played, had it a handful, almost double-digit times. He's just a better field general, and he does oppose the threat to shoot the three. He stretches the defense, and some people still respect him, although he does not shoot the way we want him to at the rate, volume, and efficiency. That's all part of it. This offseason is huge. We have to really figure out what we're doing. Are we really going to run it back, a team with the same coach and the same starting five and that same whack bench that can't get us out the second round? Joel Embiid played at an MVP level for 2 years straight. He finished second 2 years straight, and we can't get out the second round. What is it with number two? Second round, second place in the MVP voting? I don't know. But it starts with fixing this bench via free agency, via trade, and it also starts with who is going to be the leader of this team. Paul Reed is a guy who wants to grow as a player. How? He says Doc Rivers won't allow him to. This was big. Maybe if more people come out and say stuff like this, maybe a Tyrese Maxey, James Harden had some problems with Doc Rivers, although I think he wants, to get Mike D'Antoni in here and bring back that Houston stuff, but it doesn't even make sense because he's not Houston Harden, and I never liked Mike D'Antoni anyways. Things got to change. What are we doing with Tobias? What are we doing with Matisse? Who else feels this type of way towards Doc Rivers? It's all going to be interesting to see how things unfold. The Lakers reportedly wanted Doc Rivers, and they were like, psych, we want a younger coach who's going to feel motivated to get these young guys in the game. And I said this on Twitter a week ago. Ime Udoka, Monty Williams, two guys on the Sixers staff that went to the NBA Finals, right? If we don't make a move now and Sam Cassell ends up leaving, and if he ends up being the next Monty Williams or Ime Udoka, I am going to cry myself to sleep every single day. Now, let's look at this trade possibility. So NBC Sports has a article, and it says NBA trade rumors, Nuggets, Will Barton available in a deal. So I read that whole thing, and they talk about, who would the Sixers be able to trade for Will Barton. And this is what the proposed trade is. You let me know. Let's try out this potential trade. The Philadelphia 76ers receive Will Barton, who is a nice wing piece off the bench. At this point of his career, if he's coming off the bench, you're pretty good. Denver last year had to use him as a starter, and he's not that good. But if he was on our bench, is he better than Shake? Is he better than Niang? Is he better than Furkan? Is he better than these guys? Yes. It gives you instant scoring off the bench and a guy you feel comfortable running with, Maxey or Harden or whoever stays in with the second unit. But we would have to give Denver Danny Green, who most likely won't play this year due to the injury, Matisse Thybulle, and the number 23 overall pick. Again, when you look at the NBA lottery, the NBA draft in general, picks after 20 don't normally pan out. Maxey did 100%, and if somehow we can strike another Maxey, it'd be good. I got to start doing my due diligence in the guys that the Sixers might have available at 23 because I haven't been doing it because I didn't think we were going to have a pick. So now I got to dive into that. That's coming up very soon. We will be making some videos on prospects the Sixers can draft if they elect to use it. Again, this is them saying a possible trade piece. Thybulle offers you nothing on the offensive side. I understand what his defense does, but he's becoming unplayable. We got to get rid of him now before it's too late. The number 323 overall pick, again, who is likely to be available? I have to look at that and really look at it. But I'm not sure if I'm willing to give up Green, Thybulle, and the 23 overall pick for a guy like Will Barton, who's going to be a bench piece. I think that's a little bit too much for a bench piece. Although Thybulle and the 23 overall pick could be bench pieces who don't pan out. Danny Green is a guy that if he's coming off your bench to make some threes, a three-point specialist, it ain't bad. But when he got to start and you got to rely heavy minutes on him, that just goes to show that past the top four players on the Sixers, it goes nice. It's a big drop-off for sure. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Would you do Will Barton to the Sixers for Danny Green, Thybulle, and the 23 overall pick? Also, let me know what you think about this. Again, development is not just about the player, it's about the coach too. Very hard to follow a leader who's not going anywhere. You can't give away what you don't possess. Big words by Phil Beckner, and that's how the Philly fan base feels about Doc Rivers. But for Paul Reed to co-sign it, I know Doc Rivers had a talk with him about that. And although it could lose minutes there, you got to stand up for what you feel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I go by Philly Mike. This is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you haven't done it, make sure you do. Like, subscribe, ding that notification bell. I rock with you. Hopefully y'all rock with me. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out. Peace.